All right, welcome to Wide Awoke with Wally Wonder. I'm your host, Wally Wonder. This video is going to be about the media, the overall media, and what is the media trying to tell us about our society and about who they want us to be. Now, first of all, right off the bat, this is everybody. There's like 3 or 4 major corporations that pretty much own every form of media out there, from newspapers to television to radio, all that. So there are not very many companies that own media. So there are actually very few people in charge of what we're watching, what we get for our entertainment. Now, is that a good thing? No way in the world do I think it's a good thing. You live on a planet with billions of people. No way should a small group amount of people be overseeing exactly what everybody gets to watch and what everybody gets to see. Now, but I believe it goes into the overall agenda of the whole plan of basically taking control of us and turning us into nothing but mindless consumers. Now, if you don't believe me, watch a show like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now, I'm not going to sit here and knock the Kardashians or say rude things about them. I think Kim's beautiful. I think they're all, I think they're pretty women. As far as, they're all attractive enough to look at, and things like that. But as far as the show really, to me, promotes nothing but consumerism, fashion, and expensive restaurants, and of course they have their own clothing line, stores and stuff like that, Dash, and so the show's really just, it promotes consumerism, even though they do have issues. They come up, with Kim's marriages and now Chloe's divorce and things like that. I have one job where it's kind of boring, and I read Us magazine, so once a week, when we get a new one, I read, and that's basically what's in there. I like reading Us magazine because I like looking at the pretty women, but basically that magazine, all it does is promote consumerism. It's all about fashion. It's all about vacations. It's all about, look at the celebrities, look what they're doing. You can try to do this too. You can try to buy this too. You can be more like them. So I believe a lot of TV promotes consumerism. Another form of television that's really popular are crime dramas. And I guess that's kind of maybe its oldest time. The good guy, the bad guy. Bad guy gets caught. Most of the time, most crime dramas, the cops are the protagonists. The bad guys usually get caught. And but to me, and I'm not going to sit here and say I don't watch crime dramas, because all I really watch on TV is sports and crime dramas. And there's a few shows on Discovery I like. Oh, there's a new one, Naked and Afraid. I like Naked and Afraid. And there's another one where the guys take their friend and they drop their friend off in the middle of nowhere. And they're like a bunch of badasses, Green Berets and all this shit. And they drop the guy off in the middle of nowhere, and the guy has to find his way back to civilization. I love that show. Just like the Naked and Afraid. I like shows like that because, to me, it's practical. If I'm ever stuck in a wilderness situation, I live pretty close to the mountains now. If something was to happen and I was to have to travel deeper into these mountains, the more I know about how to survive, how I could stay warm, how I can have food, how I can make fire, things like that, the more I know about that, the better chance I have of surviving, I believe. And so I watch shows like that, and I just find it interesting. It's cool to see badass people do cool stuff, in my opinion. But like I said, back to the crime dramas, I think that also kind of promotes a lot of anxiety too, and it makes people scared of people. I live in a smaller community. People are more friendly. When you live in a city, I've lived in cities. Some cities are different. But when you live in a lot of oh wow, this bird just slid across the ice. I wish I'd have caught that on tape. It was funny. But anyway, so when you live in a lot of big cities, people don't talk to each other. You know, I lived in Denver for quite a while. You get on the train, you're going to work and like that and stuff like that, and everybody just stares into their phone, stares directly ahead. Nobody really looks at each other. Pretty much the only time you're going to get some conversation if maybe if somebody's drunk or something like that and they starts just talking to somebody. For the most part, you know, when people are commuting, going to work, and they're on the light rail and everything, the train in Denver, nobody really talks to each other, and I see that in a lot of other cities too. And I think a lot of our media right nowadays, it promotes that attitude of being afraid of each other. They want us to be afraid of each other. You know, they want to promote the differences. They want to say, okay, well, these people are bad. People that look like this are bad people, so that you won't. Because the more we don't trust each other, the more we have to trust and rely on the government. Now, before we had major governments, you know, we had smaller tribal people lived, you know, tribally, and people had to rely on each other and count on each other in order for us to get civilization to this point. We would not have made it had people been robbing from each other, stealing from each other, even though some people did. But as a whole, people had to rely on each other, and everybody had their role in society. Nowadays, I believe America is a country full of people trying to be an individual together. So everybody's trying to be an individual, but we're all trying to do it together, which I think leads to a lot of anxieties. You see the rise in mental illness. You didn't really hear about mental illness as much as you hear about it now. Okay, so maybe it was a problem people weren't really addressing. Or maybe a lot of the anxieties and a lot of the pressures of today's world are causing people to crack, are causing people to not be able to sleep, or causing people to have this tremendous amount of stress put upon them that they feel like their brain's not functioning right. Now, as far as me, I don't believe in over medication. I don't believe that, you know, I mean, like, if you're just totally batshit crazy, and you're fucking talking to the sky, like somebody might think I'm doing if they walk by and don't realize that I'm recording this. But like, if you're just totally batshit crazy, then yeah, you might need some medication and to protect you and protect the people around you. You know, you're trying to shoot through walls and all this crazy shit. But if you're just like a little depressed, if you're feeling a little down, or you're just not happy, or you're not excited with your life and things like that, you can go to a doctor. They'll be quick to give you some kind of antidepressant, some Risperidol or some Zoloft, whatever they got out there. They'll be happy to give you some medicine to kind of make you feel better. When there's other remedies, it's like I live in the mountains. You know, there's a lot of things people do out here, you know, like as far as skiing, hiking, climbing, bike riding, rafting, all these kind of things that, you know, jogging, just going to the gym even. So a lot of times, just going for a walk sometimes, you know, you could be sitting there. So if you're sitting there watching this video right now, and you're thinking that, like, man, you know, I don't feel so good about the world. I'm scared, you know, I'm feeling anxious. I'm kind of down on this, down on that. Maybe sometimes even going for a walk, just get that adrenaline going. Because sometimes people just get in their car, go to work, get back in their car, go home. You got to move your body. It's part of it. You know, the endorphins are what make you feel good. So maybe sometimes like even just getting out and exercising, just doing something you enjoy every day, just trying to do a little bit of something you enjoy every day, whether it's play sports or knit something, turn off the TV, read a good book, learn something about yourself, learn something about the world. Things like that can help people feel better. But you don't see a lot of that promoted in the media. Like I said, mainly what you see is if you want to feel better, go buy something. Because like I said, and overall, they want to turn us into mindless consumers. We're actually buying from the same people that are telling us what to buy. So basically, we don't really have a choice. We get ice cream or we get ice cream. But I guess you get to choose strawberry or chocolate, but you're not going to get any cherry pie. You're going to get ice cream. And so sometimes it's turn off the TV, get out there and enjoy the world, and don't let them have you be afraid of human beings. All right, I'm out.